How can you take A and B out of this equation? I have I 3, 2. Can you see there's a special correlation between this?
Divided by 2.
Divided by 2. Which one divided by 2?
6 and 4.
Okay, so this is 6 and 4. And divided by 2 is it's correct. But if you want to be safer, you can say that -6 and -4 divided by 2, divided by -2. Okay, so this divided by -2. Okay, either way is possible, but this is to be less confusing, you divide it by -2. You take everything as a plus sign. This is not, no, yeah, it can stay like that. Let's see. This. Okay, so you can just say that -6 divided by -2, it's the same as taking 6 away and dividing by 2. But in mathematics, you don't really take the 6 away from the minus notation because it is -6, not 6. So to be less confusing, I will say that you take these variables and you divide them by 2. And you get 3 and 2. Okay, now you understand that. Can you do this one for me quickly? Lina, can you find me the center, the coordinates of the center point through this? Can you find me the A and B?
Is 5 and B is -1.
A is 5 and B is?
-1.
Okay, B is -1. So can you quickly tell me what is the radius of this circle? You don't have to calculate. You can just tell me the equation. So it's 25. Plus 1.
-1. +1.
-1 from where? From this one, right?
No, -1. No, +1.
Why is it +1?
Because you have to minus C and C equal to -1.
Exactly. So double minus, double negative, right? That's correct. And you have +1 and you have square root of 27. Very correct. If I place the +1 here, this will become minus. And if I place minus here, it will become plus. It's very simple. All right. Great job. So can you also quickly tell me this? Can you tell me A, B, and R? Lina.
A is 2.
2. B is?
B is -3.
B is -3. And R is?
That is 8.
8. Okay, correct. Right, you got it. And everybody else, have you got any more question about this? It's quite simple. Just remember the formula. I will circle them again. This is the first formula. And this is the second one. Okay, and about to calculate how to calculate the area and the circumference of circle, I will quickly remind you that the area is r squared pi r squared, and the circumference is 2 pi r. Okay, these are the two equations, and this makes four equations that you're going to have to remember. All right. You can quickly note them down or not. I will give you some seconds to look them through. And one thing about circle is that it has a radius. And you notice that there's something notation called pi. And pi is very special in a circle because it is the ratio between a circumference and a radius. Okay, that is pi. So this is very distinctive for a circle. So when it comes to circle, you have pi. And so everything is surrounding that pi. The pi, this notation, this mathematic notation. And so for the degrees, even for the degree, which is normally, for example, you have 64 degrees or 27 degrees. This is not the temperature. This is just degrees in mathematical degree. It's not a temperature, okay? It's not Fahrenheit, it's not Celsius. It's just degree. It's not degree Fahrenheit or anything like that. And you're going to have to convert them into something called a radian, because you're working with a circle or not. This is depending on the author of the exam, or depending on the author of the question. It's fine to use either one. You can use degree or radian. It depends on you. But if you want to use radian, or most likely they will test you on radian when it comes to circle, you're going to have to know the equation to convert from degree to radian, which is this. You take the degree, multiply by pi, and divide them by 180. Basically, you're just dividing the degree by 180. Okay, so if you have 90, you're going to have 1/2. Just put a pi after it. Okay, that's very simple. I believe I've mentioned this already. I'm just quickly reminding you guys about this. Okay, about the next one of a circle. A circle, it has this. Circle, they don't have sides, because circle, it doesn't have any angle, okay? It only has arcs. When it comes to sides, the circle has arcs, okay? This is a circle. No, this is an ellipse. This is a circle. And if I say it's too small. All right. This is circle. And if I make a point, if I am to just draw two random radii, okay? I draw two random radii, A and B. I get to half of a circle, of a circumference of a circle, okay? I have AB, the big one, and AB, the small one, and AB, the big one. Most likely, you're going to be working with the small circle, a small arc, not the big arc. But if you are to work with a big arc, they will mention it in the question. AB is this. In this case, I will work with the AB, the small arc, and this is an arc in a circle. An arc is basically a side, but it's just curved. It's a curved side. All right. So when it comes to arc, you have arc measurements. Arc measurement. When you talk about size, you have the length, okay? Length is, for example, you have A and 2A and A. Or just give it a number, 1, 2, and 1 centimeter. And about arc measurements, it'll be the same. But in this case, it doesn't use centimeter. It uses radian. And this is why radian is so commonly used in circle. It's because the arc itself, of the length in the circle, everything is converted into radians. If you want to calculate the measurement of an arc, you're going to have to choose radian over degrees. I'll show you what I mean. If I say arc AB, what is the measurement of arc AB? I'd say it's about 1 and square root of 2 over 2. pi. Because a circle is 2 pi and half a circle is 1 pi. And this AB has a length of square root of 2 over 2 pi, meaning it has the length of square root of 2 over 4 of a circle of the circumference. This is why it's so important for you to see. Convert it into radian, because radian is actually not, it's a mathematical equation. It's a mathematical linking between degree of a circle to the mathematical concept like numbers and square root and power and everything. The radian is the bridge in between. So to calculate the length and everything, you have to calculate via radian. All right, so you remember the formula of converting a degree to radian is degree times pi divided by 180. So enough talking about the definition. I'll guide you how to calculate the arc measurement itself. So there are two types of arc measurements: the intersecting and the center. Okay, intersecting is basically an arc from this. An intersecting arc is like this. It originates from the circle, from the circumference of the circle. Let's say an originating point is A, and you draw two lines crossing that A, and you have this intersecting arc. And the center arc originates from the center point, I, or O, depending on the test givers, depending on the author. I say I. This is, they seem to have the same measurement, right? But they're very different. The only thing different is the origin, yes. And secondly, the measurement itself. When the arc originates from the center point, it will have half the length. No, I'm sorry. When the arc has the origin of a point on the circumference, for example, A, it will have half the measurement, 1/2 of the arc originating from I, which is the center point. So when I say CD, this is CD and this is EF, I will have CD. This is the notation, the symbol for the arc measurement. CD is 1/2 of EF. Because simply, if you talk about arc measurements, you talk about the origin of it. You don't use your compasses, or you don't use your rulers to measure them. You can't. You have to look at the originating angle. This is the or the originating point. You can either measure the angle, or if the question, or if the prompt give that to you already, that's cool, and you're just gonna have to decide whether or not it is an intersecting or is it from a circle. So that's it. That's very simple, but it deserves its own lesson for it. All right. So that's basically it for the circle. I'll give you a few seconds to sink that in, and we will walk through our homework as well as some notable questions in our homework. All right. Let's walk through the fourth section, the calculator section of the April. Is it April? Let me check. Yeah, April. Yes, this is school day, April 13th, 2022. And it's let's check out the fourth section, shall we? First one is very simple. You're just gonna have to move x over here, and minus 2x plus 8 is 12, and 8x, and you have 6x is 12. Very simple. This one, with the value of k1, you just replace them here, and 3 minus 5 is minus 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. Minus 2 over 5. Wait, hang on a sec. Okay. These are very basic questions. So 3 and 4, can you tell me the answer to this, Lina?
B,
3B,
4C,
4C. Let's check 3B, 4C. That's correct. And 8 and 10. Can you do it for me, Dom? 8, 10.
Wait a minute, let me find the old answers of mine.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Let me do it again. I forgot the answers.
Okay.
A, C.
8C, correct. And 10. Let's scroll down. 10 is
5. No, B.
10 is B. All right, that's also correct. Very good. I will. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I will solve the 5th and 6th question, because this is what I'd say a statistical question, and it belongs to the data analysis part of the maths. So there's just one thing about the SAT, is that maths, it tends to be quite lengthy. Although the digital SAT, they promise to have it shortened, but it's not actually. It's just basically the same, essentially the same. So the only major difference from the digital SAT and the paper SAT is actually the reading section itself, and the length of math section, and the ability to use the calculator in both sections of the math, both modules of the math, and the naming and stuff like that. And mostly everything else, they don't change about the math section. The only thing that changes is that I noticed that the use of complex number, if you used to remember what that is, complex number has been reduced. Complex number, this notation, this symbol, I, complex number. It has been reduced greatly on the latter part of the SAT since 2021, ever since. And I haven't seen it, but I think I'm going to guide you through it quite briefly on some next session, but it's not necessary as of now. I'll give you some lesson about it at the end of our course, because it's very forgettable. So if I teach you this early on, you're kind of forget about it. And if this is to happen, this is to be given out on the digital SAT or on the August SAT, it'll be quite easy. It's not really difficult. It's just very easy. It's just hard to remember. All right, the fifth question. Which of the following is closest to percentage of participants who gave a rating of 5? Okay, the fifth and sixth question can answer it with me. Firstly is the fifth question. How can I calculate the percentage? Can you give me the overall equation of how to calculate a percentage?
It's like one part over like everything else.
Yes, just the number, one part or a part, as you said. It can be like a part, one part, divided with the total, by the total, times 100. If there is this symbol, and if it's not multiplied by 100, it will be on a scale of 0 to 1. And if it is multiplied by 100, it'll be on a scale of 1 to 100, 0 to 100. Basically, these are the same, but when they use this symbol, you'd assume that they have already multiplied by 100. So how can I calculate the percentage of those gave the rating of 5?
Two over 11.
11, exactly. Just the number of the value being asked, which is 1, 2, 2 5s, and you divide them by 11, and you multiply them by 100, and you get, let me calculate, 11 is about 18%, so it's B. How about ratio? Can you give me the ratio?
Uh, 8 to 3.
8 to 3. So the number of participants who gave the rating of 6 or higher is 8. Let's see. 6 or higher is from here onward. It's 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 9, 10. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Correct. 8, 2, 3. Remember, this is the number before 2 is the number on the numerator, and after the word 2 is the number down below, which is on the denominator. So this is 3. 2, the number of participant lower than 6, so that is 1, 2, 3, 3 exactly. It's B. All right. Moving on to question 7. Can you do question 7 for me, Hung?
Yes, I will need a minute, please.
Okay.
I believe is A.
Okay. Firstly, can you tell me why you come about A?
So C and B is obviously wrong because the graph doesn't start at 0, 0.
Exactly.
And
B and
And
C as well.
and it says that y equals 5x, or and and it's y equals 5x. So I look at A and I saw that 2 times 5 equals 10. Yeah.
Let's see. We have y equals 5x, so that means rise over run. Just to remember this, rise 5, and run how much? Run. Rise 5.
Rise
How much
5
is run?
from 1.
1, exactly. So it gives it goes up 5 units and it goes to right 1. Okay, so let's see, this is going up 5. Let me zoom it in for a bit. This is going up 5. No, it's going up 10. It goes to the right 2. So this is essentially the same, 5 over 1. So this is correct. And at first look, you might be mistaken by D, because the 5, 1, or go up 5 and go to right 1, it might make the slope quite slanted upward. It might make it like this rather than being like a bit dwarfed like this. See, this might look more like go up 5, go to right 1, this one. But in actuality, this is, look at the unit section. This is 2, 4, this is 10, 20. All right, this starts with 2 and 4. This is multiplication of 2, and this is multiplication of 10. Right, this is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is why this is so even. They look so evenly distributed on the scale of this. Because basically, remember to look at the legends, which are this, X and Y, and look at the units, because most likely most of the graph, they won't have the unit of 1. They may have unit of 2 or 3 or 10 or 20. This is the smaller unit. And in this case, this is the smaller unit, is 10. This is the smallest unit, which is 2. So remember, look carefully before choosing an answer. All right, very good. Next up is number 9. This is basically the same, but can you do this for me, Tâm?
I choose D.
D, let's see. So can you eliminate some questions for me first?
First, it start by 385,000. So we can eliminate the answer A and C.
Exactly.
And then the graph, we can see that it goes straightforward. So I choose B because B have a minus.
Oh, okay. So you use, this goes up and it means that it is, the slope is positive, right? That's very
Yes.
smart. And you cross out B because this is negative, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good. That is one very quick way of doing this. Or else you're going to have to plug in. This is only if you don't know what to do, is that you plug in some special coordinates. For example, this one. Firstly, you're going to have 0, x, and you find y. What is y? Then if you plug in 0x, and you're going to have like y is being like minus this, plus this, minus this, plus this, and you can see y is clearly a positive number, integer. So you cross out A and C, and you can see that, and you plug into other points, and this is quite inaccurate, but you get the whole idea, because if you don't know what to do, you're just going to have to plug in the special coordinates, because in some cases, it won't be this just process of elimination because some graphs, they are quite complex and you're going to have to plug in the points, the coordinates. All right, next up is 11. 11 and 12. 12 is quite easy. 16, 4, it's 4. And circle it already. 11 and 13. Can you do it for me, Anne?
D.
All right, D. So how did you come about D?
So the B, like it starts at like 30, like
All
around
right,
30.
that's correct.
and
30 like this, because line of best fit, appropriate linear model, which is the line of best fit from this. So it's like pretty much like this. It can't ever be like this, right? So it has to cross some point around here. So it's 30, correct. What else?
And then it had a negative slope, so that was the only one.
Okay, the only one has a negative slope and has a B, which is the y-intercept, crosses 30, which is D. Very good. Just basically the same as what Dumb did, because on linear graph, it's just it. You have two properties of a linear graph. The first one is the slope, which is A or M. The second one is the y-intercept, which is B. Y-intercept. It's basically it, and that's it. It's very easy. And what about 13? Yeah, do it for me. It's very simple. Just don't be distracted by these just uh, words, just lengthy concepts.
I think I remember feeling C.
Okay,
5.
C. Let's see. Right, these are very just like distraction. These are pretty much distractions when it comes to maths SAT because mostly this is the only way that the SAT can trick us because in theory it's not very difficult, but in actuality it phrases quite lengthy and it phrases in such a way that makes it quite difficult to understand what it's actually saying and what is it actually giving. So this is the 13th question, which means that it's relatively not difficult, but seems so difficult because it has chemistry in it, and hell knows chemistry is very difficult. Okay, so let's see. The equation 0.95C plus this represents the density. This is this. C is the density, and N is the density of zinc, copper, and zinc. And 8 is density of the alloy. The density of copper is this. So basically, what are you doing? Yeah, copper is this. And they ask for zinc. How can you find the density of zinc? Because they just gave you copper. Look, let's see.
I did 8.96 times 0.95.
Yes, you just plug 8.96 into C in place of C, and you find N. And that's, let me calculate them. 5 times 7.16. I know, yeah, so 8.6 plus 0.05. Yeah, 7.16, correct? It's C. All right. Next up is the 14. I want you to do this for me. How about Lina? Do you still remember what the mean, the median, and the range are? Mean, median, and range.
The average number.
Yes. Wait. Mean is the average number. Yes, exactly. How can you calculate the average?
Like the sum of the given list and divided by the total of the number.
Yes, sum divided by n. So you get the average. Right, how about the median?
Median is the middle number.
Yes, exactly. The middle of what list? What kind of list? What kind of list? The median is the middle of what? The first one or the second one? They're the same, right? But what's the difference between them? I'm sorry. What did you say?
The median is different.
What is the median in this case?
It is 3.
Exactly. It's 3. It's not 1 because the median is the middle point, the middle number of a sorted list. Sorted. This is very important because this can trick you. And how about the range? How can you calculate the range?
The last number minus the first number and plus 1.
No, it's not really plus 1. You're just gonna need max minus min. That's it. Don't need to plus 1. If plus 1 is actually the number of numbers that, you know what I mean? Because let's say if you have 5, the number of numbers is what you 5 minus 1 divided by the space between them. In this case, this will be 1. The space between them is 1. So 5 minus 1 divided by 1 plus 1. This is the total amount of number. Amount of number. And if I'm talking about the range, you just need to get the last minus the first, or just take the max minus the min. Okay, that's it. All right. Now, can you do this for me? If the list, the score, if the 30 is taken out, what changes?
16. The mean will increase and the median remain the same.
Let's see. Firstly, to have an easier look, I'd say I'd sort them from smallest to largest. 30, 66, 68, 71, 71, 72, 76. So the median in this case is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, which is the fourth number. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 71. All right, 71 is the median. Let's see if I take out 30 off. I have median here. It will be this median. I will still have 6, so plus 1 divided by 2. So it's, let's see, 7. So it's 3.5. 1, 2, 3, 3.5. So 3.5, basically you take 71 plus 71 divided by 2. So the median stays the same. It doesn't change because you take out 30, the median stays the same. In this case only, it's not every time like this, okay? So in this case, in this list, the median, it doesn't change. So you get rid of A and B, remains the same. And how about the mean? Because you're taking out the smallest number, right? You taking out the smallest number, the mean increases, the average increases. But if you take out the largest number, the mean decreases. Do you get what I mean? Because the average is basically sum of every single number divided by n. So it's the average of the number of the list, the average. But if you take out the last one, it will shift up like this. The average will shift up like this. You have the new graph like this, right? Basically, if you take out the smallest, the mean will increase, and take out the largest, the mean will decrease. That's essentially it. So the answer is actually D, not A, okay? Because the median, it remains the same when you take out 30, all right? If you don't know how to do it, you just, firstly, if you encounter a question that has median in it, you sort them from smallest to largest, 30, 66, like that, and then you do what the question asks you to do. And these are quite easy, so I'm not gonna bother. These are quite easy too, and this is better. How about this 20th question? Can you do it for me, Tom? What kind of graph is this? Do you remember the name?
No, I did. No.
Okay, so it's box and whisker. Well, you don't really have to know the name in order to understand it. So can you tell me some special properties of this graph? This first one, what is this? What is this middle line?
Like the
What's the middle line?
like the median.
Yes, it is the median. How about this one?
I don't know.
So if I say this is the range, what's this one?
The mean,
Exactly, the minimum. And how about this one?
maximum.
Exactly. So on the SAT, there are just 3 values you're gonna have to remember. For the boxing whisker, you don't really have to remember it. It's very apparent. The maximum value, which is the last line, the minimum value, which is the first line, and the median, which is the line in the middle, in the box. Here, this is the median. All right. So the question asks, the box plot shown summarizes this, which of the following must be greater for the number of tanker merchant fleets than for the number of dry bulk? It's quite lengthy when you sound it out. It's basically comparing these two, whether or not the range or the median is larger between these two. And what's your answer?
I choose D.
I'm sorry, D or B?
D.
Neither one or nor two.
Yeah. I think
Let's
so.
let's check. All right. Firstly, to make sure is the median of mergers must be greater for the number of tanker. So tanker greater than dry bulk. Tanker is greater than dry bulk in whether the median of tanker is greater than dry bulk. Let's see. Is the median larger on the tanker? What do you think? What's the median of a tanker?
About 160.
And this just one about 80, right? So
Oh.
is the tanker larger?
So I think it's fine the median, so I'll change mine to A.
A. You haven't read the range yet. Let's assess the range, okay? So firstly, when I say the range is basically the largest and the smallest, is it not? This is the smallest, and you can very quickly see that the range of tanker is what comparing to the range of dry bulk. What do you think? Range of tanker is what to dry bulk?
The range of tanker is larger.
Yes, because it's longer. The distance between the minimum and the maximum is a bit longer, so the subtraction between them will be much larger, which is max minus min is a bit more than dry bulk, isn't it? So what is the final answer?
C.
Yeah, it's C. It's very simple. Take that in mind, and because don't make it wrong ever again, because it's very simple. You're just gonna have to know the definition, and you're just gonna have to know the special attributes, the special values on this boxing whisker. All right, the next one. 22. Can you do this for me, Hung?
Yes. Give me a second, please.
Yes.
Ask the rate of change. C.
C. Let's see. So the text is quite lengthy, but in conclusion, you just have to look at this, and you can easily see that this is a linear equation. And the number in question is 0.065, and it is, well, basically it's next to the x, so it's the rate of change. So let's have a see. There's C. It specifically states that that's the range of change, so there's no doubt about it. So it's pretty easy. Okay. Next one is right. I'm gonna do these two. Firstly, they give you a table. And secondly, they give you two questions relating to the table. That's why there's this symbol. This is the beginning of the pair of question, or the multiple pair of questions. This is the beginning and this is the end. It marks the beginning of a set of questions. For example, in this case, this set has two questions in it, and you based on this table to answer these two questions. All right. The first one, store X customer buys 4 tires and received a discount, but does not have the tires installed. What is the total cost? So this one is very cheeky and very smart customer. They don't want to spend a dime on installment. So they don't lose the installation fee. They don't have to pay for the installation fee, is it not? So all you're gonna have to do is multiply the value of store X. But remember to subtract discount. So store X has this special discount program, very generous. Each tire is 15% off list price. So from 90 per tire, it becomes, what is it? 90 times 0.85. It is 76.5. 90.0.85 is 76.5. All right. So you just need to multiply them by 4 and you get D, 306. All right, that's very simple. And next one is 25. So this is it looks a bit difficult because there's about profit and it's quite long. The text is quite long, so it seems difficult, isn't it? So store W's total expenses for selling and installing tire is $100. Which function represent the profit? And they give us the profit is the total amount of money received minus the expenses. So expenses by default is minus 100, isn't it? And you're gonna have to add up the money received. Money received is basically the fees and prices after discount. Store W, they are quite generous. They give out the full one for free. So you have, if they are installing 4 tires, you just need to pay the price of 3. Okay, so you 3A, cross out C and D already. 3A, and installation for all tires is 50. So plus 50 minus 100, you get B. Pretty easy. So next one is 26. 26 is not really difficult. It's just tricky. It's very easy to get mistaken. The height of certain tree is in this, it was 1.35 times the height of the tree in 2011. What percentage did the tree increase from 2011 to 2016? This is a very simple question, but don't get it wrong. All right. So was 1.35 times. It means it increases by 35%. All right, not 135%, because if it is 135%, it means that the added height is double, and it has in addition of 35%, which is in actually times 2.35. Not this. This is 1.35 times, and this is 2.35 times, and this is incorrect. So it leaves us with C. Okay, 26, pretty easy. 27 is something I would want you to pay close attention to, which is, let's see, 27 is about data gathering. And about data gathering, what about data gathering is there are errors. And this is basically, we find out what the error is, or the properties of this study. What is the range? What is the margin of error? And what is the mean and everything like that. A study conducted by mobile phone company found that the average battery life of random sample phone, this is very important because this is essentially the whole point of random sampling. If you are to give out a test of 1,000 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 1,000, 1,000 people. It's going to be very costly. So this is basically what the scientists did. They found out that if I am to pick one random person, no, not one, 10 random person, 10 random person out of this, I will get an almost perfect representation of this. What does it mean? It means that instead of just just giving tests giving the survey for 1,000 people, I just pick randomly 10 people, and it will be representative of that 1,000 sampled rate from the 1,000 bunch, the number. Okay. But if I want to increase the accuracy, I just increase this to 100. If I pick 100 random people, remember the word random. This is very important. Random. Why is it? Because if this is random, the only way it can be represented is that this is random. But if this appears to have any biases, it'll be incorrect. Okay, so look out for biases. And this is the only thing. The only point of random sampling is to reduce cost. Reduce cost. And it has to retain its accuracy. Right? So if this is not accurate, it's wrong. And if it's a bit more costly, it's wrong also. So recap, you pick a number, you pick a set of people or a set of sample smaller than the superset, which is the total amount of people you're picking from, or the sample you're picking from. And you pick them randomly without any biases, and you give out this survey, and it will be representative of the entire population. All right. So this is what a study essentially does. They conduct a study in a large sample, in a random sample, and it will be representative. A study conducted, they find random sample of its phone, random sample of its phone. So it means that there's this one bias, right? So it will not be representative for every single smartphone out there or every single phones out there in the world, but it will be only representative of every single one of this company's phone. Remember that it will only be representative for the superset, for the population, the largest possible population that it picks from. In this case, it's picking from the largest population is the phones from this specific vendor, from this specific manufacturer. So this is the largest population possible. So this is the largest representation. It's 4.6 hours. With an associated margin of error is 0.5 hours, which means that it can be roughly 5.1 hours or 4.1 hours, the margin of error. The study was then repeated with a much larger sample size, with the mean and margin of error of the new sample being calculated in the same way as the original study. Which of the following is most likely true? All right, new study and the original study. We are having to compare between them, right? The study has been repeated with a much larger sample size. So what did I say? If I want it to be a bit more accurate, I just need to increase the sample size, which is from 10 to 100. So by increasing the sample size, I'm reducing the margin of error. See, it will be a bit more accurate. So therefore, the margin of error is decreased. All right. So the margin of error of the new study is smaller. New is smaller, and the original is bigger. The new study is smaller. Okay, larger. The new study is larger is wrong. New studies. The mean is also wrong. The mean doesn't have anything to do with the sample size. The mean is indefiable. Yes, undefiable. It doesn't relate to sample size. The only thing that relates directly to sample size is the margin of error. So about the mean, that you can cross them out almost instantly. The mean doesn't matter. But the margin of error is the only thing that relates. So it's B. All right, next one. This is quite simple. You just 3 days after its peak. 3 days, it's 10. Just gonna calculate this real quick. 10 times 0.89 D, 3 days. 7.04969. 75 minus 0.83 x 3 7.26 is A. Okay, just very easy because this has a very long prompt, but in actuality, it gives you two equations, and it gives you D, the value of D, and they're asking you to calculate the difference between them. So you need to learn how to consolidate the information you're taking versus the information you're processing. All right. So a good test taker, they don't read every single text on the prompt, but what they do instead is that they read with a filter. They don't take account for every single clue in here, because I don't really need to know what each equation, luminosity of units, a billion solar, I don't need to know it. All I need to know is you have 3D, D is the value of 3, and you just plug them in and you calculate them real quick. Right, next one is this one. Again, for the range and the standard deviation is very, very special one. Can you do this from, wait, before that, let me remind you real quick. Standard deviation is the amount of spread out, how spread out, or how much it deviates. And the range is basically what we've just mentioned, the min and the max. Can you do this for me, Anne? The range and the standard deviation.
A.
Right, that's real quick. Can you tell me the range of P is what? What's the range of P?
30.
So you take the largest, which is 34, and you might subtract to 0, subtracted by 0. So it's 34, right? And this one is
20.
it's 24. Look, you take the largest possible number and you subtract it by 5 to 24, right? And you can see that this is a bit spread out, more spread out. It has this shape, and whereas this has this shape. So based on the definition, standard deviation is how spread out a graph is. So that means if you have a graph that is way more spread out, it will have a larger standard deviation than if you have a graph that is so tight, crunch up together, like this one. P has a greater standard deviation than Q. Exactly, very quick. A. All right, next one is, let's see, we have some bit time left, so bit crunch for time, eh? Let's cross out some more questions out here on the fourth section here. Let's see which is notable. Which one is notable? All right, the fifth one. Can you do it for me, Lina? The fifth question from section 4. Section 4, March International. Can you do this for me, Lina? Are you saying anything?
I choose B.
You choose B. How did you come about B?
number of the students in grade 12 is 12, and I calculate the ratios between 12 and between the number of students in grade 12 and the total students.
Right, exactly. If a student is selected at random, what's the probability that will be in grade 12? So you have 12 students in this, and you pick at random, so the largest size possible is 36. A student in this school is selected at random, so you have 36 is the denominator. 36, 12 divided by 36, and you have 1/3. Exactly. It can be the same logic can be applied to a way more complicated question, but it's basically this. You take the numerator as something that is being asked, and you divide it by the largest possible random or the largest possible population, which in this case is North High School Band. But if I ask you, if I am to ask you, if I pick one student whose grade is greater than who's in 11th grade and above, what's the probability? Wait, if I pick a student at random, what is the probability that I will have a student has a grade of 11 and above? What is it? 18? What?
18 plus 12
Yes, plus 12 and what
over,
else?
over 36.
36, exactly, because I'm selecting randomly every student in this high school, and I'm asking you how much of them would be above grade 11 and above. So you take them 2 and divide it by 6, 36. And how about if I select at random the student from grade 11 and below, how much would I get that are in grade 10? How much of them is in grade 10? If I pick from 11 and below.
6 over 6 plus 18.
Exactly. Okay, so you're just gonna have to take 6 divided by the largest possible population. I'm talking about the from 11th grade and below, so it's 18 plus 6, and you get that one. All right, very good. Next is this one. This sounds very convoluted because it's about brains and stuff like that, biology, and everyone knows biology is very difficult. So, but you can consolidate this prompt and see that it has the surface area of this square millimeters, and there are total neurons, and they're asking about density, neuron density in neuron per square millimeter. This unit is suggesting that we just divide them 1 to 7 million divided by 2,261. That's it. That's essentially it. And let me calculate them. And it is D, almost 56,200. Almost. Closest. Remember, they're asking about the closest. It's quite easy. Not doing that. Let's see. All right, this one. Can you do this for me, Hung? 13.
Yeah, okay. Oh, uh, C.
C. Let's see. Firstly, you just have to calculate because they're asking about the mean, right?
Yeah.
They're giving out, they're asking the means. So what do? You just calculate the mean. How can you calculate the mean of A?
Take the sum of every integer and divided by the number of integers.
So can you precisely tell me how to do it? The numbers.
4 plus 5
Four.
times 4 plus 6 times 2 plus 8 times 3
Okay.
divided by 10.
Divided by 10, and B is
It's the same. 4 plus 5 times 4 plus 6 times 2 plus 7 times 2 and plus 8
divided
divided by
by
10.
exactly. So you have A is bigger than B. That's correct. So it's C. Very good. Can you also do this for me, Hung?
15.
15, yes. It's very simple. Can you remind me of the vertex equation? Because it can be quite easily figured.
Wait 1 sec. I'm almost done. I believe. Wait. D. Yeah, D.
How did you do it?
First I replaced X with 0.
Okay, 0, x by
So-
0.
And that eliminates option A and C.
Oh, so you just
Because-
plugging them
yeah.
in. You plugging them in.
Yeah.
So that's why it's taking a bit of time. But as you can see, this is a
Yeah.
form of vertex in quadratic equation. And let me remind you, this is the form of vertex. X minus k squared plus h. H and k. Either way. H and k, let me put it the other way around. H and k. Oops, this is minus, not plus. Gosh, x minus. Okay, next up is you have h and k. They are the coordinates of the vertex, and you can just scale them down. Just draw a line between this vertex, horizontal and the vertical line, and you get vertical and horizontal, and you get -9 and 1. And here you have x minus 1 squared plus k is -9, so it's -9. So you're gonna get D. It's way quicker and way easier, and doesn't take you as much time. All right, great. Next up is Thumb. Can you do this for me? It's a data analysis one, which you are having trouble with.
I think this C.
Right. 16 is, let's see. Why did you choose C? Where is it saying that you choose? What's the key?
For the integers was selected at random from our public school teacher in CTX.
This one, right? At random, because this is picked at random from this biased location from all public high school in city X. And they're asking about how it can be generalized, which is to be the respective biggest population, which is the city X, the public high school teachers in city X. And because it is random, so that it is representative of every single public high school teachers in city X, not just 48 teacher, because 48 is picked by at random. That's why it's representative. And that's why C is the correct answer. Very good. Next, let's see. This is quite easy. Let's see this one. 90. Let me do this. When you encounter this question, you look. You just have this equation. This is very lengthy. I'm not going to read through it. This equation and this precisely just describing this equation, and they're asking which graph is this equation. But if you have x and y, what you're going to have to do? Well, you just move y to one side and x to one side, and you have 5x minus 200 equals 2y, and it is 5 over 2x minus 100 equals y, and you have this slope. 5 is rise 5 over run 2, and the beginning point is minus 100. So you have, well, you just have b. It is minus 100. Oh wait, is it minus 100? Let's see. It is. Oh, this is minus 2. So this and this plus 100, and see this is the only one that crosses 100. So it's very, very simple. Or else you can just plug in x is 0 and you get y, or y is 0 and you get x. Either way, because this x, this y, this x, this y, and you still circle down b. That's still correct. And see, this is the circle. Can you quickly solve this for me, An? Where's the center of the circle? A. You just take 10 divided by minus 2 and 6 divided by minus 2. You get A. Very good. This is just lengthy, but it's very simple. This is 23. It's A. This is the kilometers, which is the X, and this is just the Y. They're asking about the point B, so the coordinates of point B is very simple. And this one is also very simple. You just you have this between 0 and 410, which mean between 0 and A here. And you have point 0 and point A. You go up 1500 and you go to right 410. You get D. What else? It's very simple. None of it's, oh, this one quickly. You have 3,000 more students enrolled in School of Engineering. So this is the black bar, and this equates to 3,000. And which of the following estimates the increase in total number of students? Because look, this is the percentage, and you have 3,000 equates to 20% increase. So 20% of this graph is 3,000. So how to calculate what is, if you have the total, what is 20% of total? You just times 20%, right? But if you want to calculate the otherwise, you're just going to have to total equals 3,000 divided by 20%. That's it. You just do it the other way around. 3,000 divided by 20% is 15,000. 15,000, so it's a 5,000 increase. Oh. All right, that's it. I'm glad we'll still be able to run through entire section that I wanted to highlight. Do you guys have any other questions?
Yes.
All right.
Can you show us an example of two graphs? The one has a higher range, higher range, but lower standard deviation, please.
Oh, let me think. A graph with a higher range but a lower standard deviation. Let's see. Let's try. Standard deviation, higher range. Let me think. It's 1 to 5. That's a good question. 1 to 5. I don't think it's possible because, let's see, because standard deviation is the measurement of how spread out a graph is. Standard deviation is how spread out. And the more it spreads out, the more the range gets, right? This is a bigger standard deviation, so as the range. So I would assume, I'm not checking this yet, but I will definitely check this later on and give you a definitive answer. But this is what I assume. Standard deviation measures the spread out, and also the range measures how spread out the equation is. Right, let's see. Oh, yeah, that's still one way. Nope, my mistake. Here, if you have this equation, standard deviation is not horizontally, but it's also vertically. So if I say from 1 to 5, I have this graph, right? I have let me just erase it. I have this graph. No, like this. Okay, so if I have this graph also, 1 from 2 to 3. This is like 3, and this is like 4, right? But if I have this 2, let's say something outrageous, 100, and this is 1,000. All right, this is also how spread out the equation is. This is a way concentrated. It's horizontally concentrated, but on the vertical scale, remember maths, our linear maths or our maths currently is actually 2D. So we're going to have to take into account for 2 dimensions. And you have a longer, let me draw it to scale. This is 1 to 5, right? 1 to 5. And this is 2 to 3. And you can see that the size of a graph is still very, very spread out. This is like this. This is like this. But this is like this. It's still the same, but the amount of spreading out, it's different. And this has a smaller range, but it has a wider it's being spread out a bit more. And this has a wider range, but it's still spread it out quite evenly. It's still quite even. So because standard deviation measures how far away a number actually is from the mean. So it's not about how spread out, because it's just how we visualize it. It's not how it is represented. The standard deviation is measuring the distance, the average distance from a number to its mean. In this case, this is this, but in this case might be this. So this is a bit far, so it's not correct. All right. That's a nice question. I will think about it a bit more, and I will give you a more detailed explanation next time we see each other. All right, that's a good one. Let me remind you one last time is that we'll have an entrance exam, and I showed you how to do it. This will be the last session for this half of the month, and I will give you the form to fill in to get the password of the new room later on. Before the next session. But anyway, if you don't have any other questions, I would end the class, today's class right now. And I hope you guys have a great day, great night, and goodbye. See you again.